Hey collective, what is going on? Happy new moon in Pisces. I hope you're doing well today. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive where we're going to look at the energy around the new moon in Pisces via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. I hope that things are moving well for you. We're in Pisces season, and it's brought up a lot of emotions. A lot of the water element is heightened in the astrology right now. So it's really forcing us to kind of look at and contend with the things that are working and the things that aren't. And what I love about new moon energy is it gives us the opportunity to set new intentions or readjust intentions that really aren't working how we had anticipated. Things that we're finding obstacles, blocks around, etc. This is a really good new moon to kind of take a step back, have a little bit of self-awareness, do some evaluation around where some of the disconnect is coming through, and then make changes and adjustments accordingly. That's where we're going to find the most success and benefit. It's just annoying right now because we've had to be very patient for a minute. This has kind of been going on for a little bit. And I think it's good personally. We have Pluto that just moved into Aquarius. It governs cycles, decade-long cycles, and we have an opportunity to adjust the way we're living, the way we're showing up in our life, specifically as it relates to our wishes, our desires, how we want our life to look. And making those changes are never easy. However, with this new moon, there is a promise that if you put down the hard work and you stay committed to your path, there will be success. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I like to start off these readings with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. It's a great way to cleanse out some of those obstacles, limitations that we might be coming into. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come into this reading with something on your heart, on your mind. Maybe the title resonated with you, something you would like spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are obviously one of them. So if you want me to look at your specific situation, definitely hit me up. Or if you're looking for more of a rebalancing of your energy, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are in alignment, then we're more likely to make choices, decisions that really honor our heart, our mind, our soul, that bring us that happiness and fulfillment we're seeking. So definitely hit me up if you're interested. I would love to help support in whatever way possible. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, collective, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. All right, collective. So like I said, there's like a lot of emotion. There's a lot of heightened water element. I think it's like off the charts today. So just keep that in mind. What do I mean by that? Usually when the water element is heightened, it's easy for emotions to get triggered. Like when we're in the midst of something that feels uncomfortable, something that we don't like, maybe it's even getting a little bit heated because there still is some tension between Venus and Mars. And Venus actually goes into retrograde at the end of the week, beginning of March. So it's going to be highlighting a lot of where we're finding difficulties in relationships, 100%. Toxicity, places that we've gotten too intertwined, too tangled into something that just really doesn't work for us anymore. And I feel like this is more of the long-term situations, challenges, struggles that we're moving through right now. It's kind of been this energy of constant refinement, constant release, constant letting go. I feel like in some ways I've been a little bit of a broken record on this channel because if we look back over the last couple months, we're trying to undo these knots, undo these tangles. And as we're doing it, it feels good. It feels hopeful. There feels like there's potential on the horizon. But then we keep getting hit with more lessons, or nope, you gotta wait a little bit longer, you gotta be patient, etc. And that can be defeating. It can feel suffocating, it can feel really annoying, right? But here's the thing, it's in this vein that we're not just glossing over, right? That we're not glossing over the quote unquote learning lessons, or however you want to view it, right? It can just be an experience that you have with someone or something that just doesn't vibe with you. And being able to understand, you know what, I don't want to invest in this, or I'm not going to get too deep into this, or I'm going to just use it at surface value for whatever it brings, and then let the rest of that go. But it does cause a reworking, or it does require a reworking of our approach. And there is a lot of emotion that goes into it. That temperance energy is being able to kind of understand how to balance between what you now see, the quote unquote toxicity, whether it's a super toxic individual person situation, or whether this is more just things that you're kind of seeing patternings in your life that feels uncomfortable, that just is not working for you any longer. It's going to require a lot of strength. And I feel like actually you have been very strong in this process. As much as it may feel really daunting, as much as it may feel like, when is this going to effing end? There does look like there is that light at the end of the tunnel, hope on the horizon, but you're patiently waiting. I feel like you've kind of been in this Ace of Pentacles energy for a hot minute. And I feel like you're assessing your next steps, your next moves. You're dealing with someone or something that really is just trying to weigh you down. I love the way this is depicted with the little fairy on the bear's back. That's what it reminds me of. It's like you're wrangling all these forces, all these intense forces that are around you. And it's been defeating, right? It's just been exhausting. It's been heartbreaking. It's not been easy. I feel like you're at a point where, here's the thing, you're hopeful for what's on the horizon, but at the same time, very exhausted for what's been going on. And where you feel like you have not been given the respect, the value that you deserve from people and situations. And a lot of it is because of some energies around you that just aren't mature, that just the only thing that they know how to do with this Knight of Wands strength card is fight. That's the only way they know how to go about it to get what they want. It's kicking and screaming is what I'm hearing. And it has kind of put you in a position where You've been doing a lot of self-reflection. I like this energy for you because instead of fighting back, instead of responding, you're going within. You're making a choice to not engage, to actually focus on yourself, your health, your wellness, your care, and what you feel inside your own heart, not what people are telling you or how they feel like you should act, respond. I don't even see a lot of people around you right now, or maybe you're just not having people, friends, weigh in on situations that you're navigating through. It really looks like you're kind of keeping to yourself around this time so you can have a better understanding of what is just the lingering grief and where you actually need to invest your time, right? Sometimes when people are causing a lot of drama, we can be running around trying to put fires out every which way. And it's really, that can be counterintuitive in and of itself, right? And I feel like that's some of what's been going on. But again, you also seem a little bit steadier than maybe what you felt in the beginning or what you have felt through this process. Even though there doesn't look to be a lot of action right now, it just feels. But what I love about this empty cup card is it really talks about perspective. Glass half full, glass half empty. We can always be thankful, have gratitude, even for the people, the places, the situations in our life that are a little bit messier. You know, thank God I didn't get too deep into that. Thank God I didn't give all my money away or, tangle myself into a situation worse than what it was. It might even be pretty bad right now, or something that you've come from that has been bad, that has kind of required you to self-protect, to kind of put yourself first and not necessarily be bamboozled by the drama, right? Okay, so let's look at this. Let's pull a little bit. What's this? Whistleblower? Okay. I think there is still some disillusionment of what this shows. Disillusionment of how people are behaving. Kind of recognizing and understanding places where maybe they're saying one thing, but in reality, it's something completely different. Because it does look like someone's having a really hard time to kind of follow through, maybe even make certain commitments to you or follow through on their commitments. Saying one thing, doing something else. But again, this is coming from a lot of their own immaturity and stressors. And I'm saying this because it looks like you keep giving this person's situation benefit of the doubt. As if it's going to magically change around and be good. And then, and it doesn't necessarily seem that way because this person's situation is incredibly invested into their fight, in what they're fighting about. But this is exactly how it's playing out in the astrology with this new moon, where we have to kind of be able to see through the tension, the struggle, the frustration. Both the sun and moon are tensely aspected to Jupiter, which is our abundance. And so it forces us, like I said, to kind of readjust and reevaluate those spaces where we are still coming into these messier dynamics and how they are roping us in or keeping us distracted. It does look like you're kind of waiting some things out, waiting out some information, or someone's waiting to come to you. It looks like someone does have an offer on hand, but I also feel like they were a part of some of this toxicity that you've been experiencing. And so kind of weighing the pros and cons right now. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to reconnect? They're seeing this level of happiness with you. They're reminiscing about it, wishing that it had been a little bit different, maybe wishing they had seen a different side or perspective of you. and not like, I think maybe just not really understanding who you were, right? There is this level of kind of your own autonomy that is threaded throughout this whole reading. You're in a space where you're not necessarily bending to everybody's will anymore, right? Like, you're kind of at this point where you're, again, putting yourself, your life, your hopes, your dreams in the front focus. And as much as maybe allowing some people to weigh in, but I don't know, I kind of hear like you don't really care. You're at this point where it's not really interesting to you anymore. Because this has been a hard won experience. This has not been something that's easy. This has made it really, really difficult. Okay. And people are struggling, like everyone's struggling, right? It's not just kind of some of the backlash that you're receiving. It's also this value of like, people wanting attention, people wanting you to see them, to talk to them, to acknowledge them, to recognize them, etc. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that come up, especially as we move through into the next week, into Venus in retrograde. We're going to start seeing some of these relationships dynamics resurface, and Spirit's saying, okay, like, now, like, I feel like we're just not constantly, but we're coming up against a lot of trials, like testing, did you learn? Did you understand why this might not be best for you? And that's the part I do see you struggling with a little bit during this new moon, because again, still kind of giving some people, situations, hall passes. There's a lot of fear around this. I think fear of like speaking your truth, darkness and height. Yeah. So it's this value. Well, and this is totally Piscean energy, right? Like, it's recognizing the whole, the value. We can go to the highest highs and the lowest lows, but we are the whole, right? And I feel like a lot of what you're contending with in this moment is seeing those places again where maybe allowing certain people or situations to kind of infiltrate because you care about them, right? Because they've been around for a long time, because they want to heal, they want to grow with you, etc. But if actions are not following suit, then that's where the changes have to be made. And I'm seeing a lot of these energies, it's a little too late. Like, not that you're necessarily saying no to these people's situations, but you've waited a long time for an apology, right? For people to be honest, to actually say like, hey, I should have done it differently. Or, people that you were friends with, people that you trusted, people that you counted on, friends, family, community, etc. You've waited a long time and there hasn't been anything at this point. So again, hence why you're just like, the only thing left to do is validate myself, right? But I'm saying this because it does look like as people kind of take their chance with you, you're going to have to know exactly yes or no. Am I going to invest or not? I love this enchantment, right? There is some enchantment. Sometimes we just get suckered in, charmed, bamboozled by people, and we don't know why, right? A lot of it, in my opinion, it's soul lessons, connections that we make with people, with individuals to help us learn, to help us grow, to help us evolve. And with that sun energy, Spirit's just saying like, have clarity, have awareness. That's going to get you way farther than buying into the fantasy, hoping, believing that someone or something is going to be different the second time around. And I'm not saying that people can't heal, because for some of you, depending on the level of toxicity, how bad it got, will really kind of dictate whether you want to let them back in or not. But there's enough of a temptation here to do so. And Spirit's asking you to be aware of what you're getting into. What you're getting into. before you actually say yes or give it the thumbs up. There's a lot of, I think this is hope. It's hope, wishing, desiring it to look a little bit different, but having to contend with what it actually is. And that is really where we're finding the most success. It doesn't feel comfortable in this moment because, again, that water element is super heightened. It's going to make us feel all different kinds of things and all day long. And I feel like this is going to kind of be a theme with Pisces season. But remember that emotions are our indicators. We don't have to be overwhelmed by them. We don't have to give way to them and be like, oh, all hope is lost, I'm screwed. It's not that, right? It's actually just, it's an indicator to say, whoa, something's off here. Something is not right. It's making me feel X, Y, and Z. And I really need to readjust so I can have a clearer picture of how I want to approach this moving forward. It looks like change is on the horizon, and it's going to be hard for some people. There are some hard conversations that you're going to have, and you're preparing for that. I also feel like it's not just coming from one place, one source. So you're going to be tested in a few different ways. Get clear about how you want that to look, how you want your engagement, interaction with people to look moving forward. And it's going to give you a lot more clarity on where your success lies, right? So I hope this reading helped. Happy new moon. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, sharing a little love, a little TLC, because I so appreciate all the love and support that you bring to the channel and my way. Know that I'm sending it back to you.